welcome to my channel. I'm Gary Wiryawan, and today I'm going to share to you what camera gear that I will carry on my upcoming travel. Let's go! Before we continue with today's video, if you are a current subscriber of my channel, welcome back. I hope that you will enjoy this video. And if you are a new viewer on my channel, also welcome, and I hope that you will enjoy today's video. If you are into photography, filmmaking, camera gear, Micro Four Thirds, as well as music, guitar, home recording, then this is the right channel for you, and please consider subscribing to my channel. Alright, let's continue with today's video. Good news! Next week, I will travel with my wife after almost 2 years of not traveling anywhere.
I'm going on an adventure!
Although we are not traveling to another country or going somewhere far away, we are still very excited because finally we are able to travel again. With that said, I want to share to you what camera gears, my Micro Four Thirds camera and lenses, as well as some other cameras that I will bring on this upcoming trip. As some of you might already know, I'm heavily invested into Micro Four Thirds camera systems. I have Micro Four Thirds camera bodies as well as lots of Micro Four Thirds lenses, and I really think that Micro Four Thirds is the best when it comes to travel photography as well as for video because they are small, lightweight, easy to carry around. And I'm very excited on this upcoming trip because finally, I'm able to bring my Micro Four Thirds camera system on a travel again. Before we talk about the cameras and lenses that I will bring as well as some other accessories, I want to first talk about the camera bag. The camera bag that I will bring on this upcoming trip is this guy right here, ONA Prince Street. So a few months ago, I made a video comparing different camera bags that I use especially for Micro Four Thirds system. You can check the video up here or down on the description below. But basically, why I choose the ONA Prince Street? Because this is a messenger style camera bag, which means that I can easily access the items inside the camera bag. And it is more than big enough to fit all of the camera gears that I require on this trip, and still I can carry up to a 13-inch laptop inside this camera bag and it will fit just nicely. Now that we've talked about the camera bag, now I'm going to talk about the camera bodies that I will bring on this trip. There will be two camera bodies that I will bring. The Panasonic G85 that's currently recording this video right now, as well as my old trusty Panasonic GX8. Now you might be asking, why do I need to bring two camera bodies in this trip instead of just bringing one camera body and save some weight? And the answer is pretty simple, because I want to have multiple focal lengths at once. That's why I use two camera bodies. So I use one camera, the Panasonic G85, for my main focal length, which is usually a little bit wide and just general purpose kind of focal length. And the other camera body, my Panasonic GX8, for either a telephoto lens or an ultra wide angle lens. Using two camera bodies also reduces the chance of getting dust inside my sensor because of changing lenses too often, and that's why I like to use two camera bodies. Speaking of the camera bodies themselves, I really love both the Panasonic G85 and the Panasonic GX8. I usually use the Panasonic G85 as my main primary camera for both photography and video to capture some B-roll as well, and I use the GX8 more like a photography camera and to capture more B-roll stuffs. Some things that you need to know is that both the Panasonic G85 and the Panasonic GX8, they are not new. They're pretty old cameras by today's standard. They are a few years old already. But they still perform really great. They are very reliable and they consistently produce great results, both photo and video. And that's why I gravitate toward them. And although they are a few years old, they don't have the latest, newest, greatest technology. They are still more than good enough for my needs. Also, both of these cameras have weather sealing so that you can use them in weather conditions that are less than ideal, which is important for travel because when you are traveling, you'll never know what kind of weather that you will encounter. Now let's talk about lenses. The first lens that I want to talk is my primary lens, the lens that I will use the most and the focal length that is the most flexible and kind of my general purpose lens for everyday kind of stuff during travel. And no surprise here, if you are a follower of my channel, you'll probably guess this right, and that is the Panasonic 12-35mm f2.8. I've talked about this lens so many times in my different videos, and yeah, it's for a good reason. This lens is the best when it comes to travel because of the focal length. 12-35 is quite flexible. It's a general purpose focal length. It goes relatively wide at 12mm and it goes a little bit zoomed in at 35mm, which is very useful for a little bit of a close-up shot, for environment portrait as well. And 12mm is useful if you're capturing sceneries or landscape or a little bit of, everything, It's a very flexible focal length, and it also has a large aperture of f2.8, which really helps me to capture lower light situation as well as to get a little bit of background blur. To complement the Panasonic 12-35mm, I also bring the Panasonic 20mm f1.7, this guy right here. It's a pancake prime lens. It only has single focal length, which is 20mm, but it has larger aperture of f1.7, so it will be more useful in lower light situation and also to get more background blur out of a picture or a video. To be honest, I really want to bring the lens that's recording this video right now, the Panasonic Leica 15mm f1.7, but I wanna use the 20mm more because it's a little bit more zoomed in. And I'm thinking about environmental portrait, food photography, that kind of stuff, so that a little bit of zoomed in focal length will be more beneficial for me. Next lens, I will also bring my Olympus 45mm f1.8. So this will be my portrait lens to photograph my wife and also for my B-roll kind of lens when I want to capture zoomed in close-up kind of shots. And this has a large aperture of f1.8 and that's really great for capturing lower light situation as well as to get background blur with combination of the slightly zoomed in focal length. I plan to bring the Panasonic 35-100mm f2.8, but it's simply too big in my opinion for travel. So I just want to bring this guy right here. It's small, it's relatively lightweight, easy to carry around, and it's just not gonna bother me with the weight on my camera bag. Next lens is my ultra wide angle lens. I'm not really sure if I'm going to use this lens pretty often because this trip is more about relaxing trip, just strolling around, relaxing at the hotel, at the resort, and just having fun and not doing anything too much, which means not a lot of chance for landscape photography. But when the opportunity comes, I will have this lens ready. This is the Laowa 7.5mm f2. It's an ultra wide angle lens that I love so much for that application. This is really good for landscape photography, for capturing sceneries. It has large aperture of f2, which is quite unusual for micro four thirds lens, and it really helps when it comes to lower light, and it's just a very useful little lens. The only drawback of this lens is that it's a manual focus only lens, and I don't think it's really that bad because it's a wide angle lens anyway, so that you can use hyperfocal distance easily with this lens. Anyway, this lens is pretty sharp, it's pretty lightweight, it's pretty small, I can just easily carry around, so it's not a burden for me to carry it around even though I'm not going to use it. Last but not least, telephoto lens. I'm also not sure if I really need to bring a telephoto lens because as I said earlier, this is a relaxing, chill kind of trip where I just want to relax and have some fun and just rest, and I don't know if I will take a wildlife picture or video or something like that, but if the opportunity comes to take some telephoto pictures or video, then this guy right here will cover my needs. This is the Panasonic 35-100mm f4 to f5.6. So this is a really small telephoto lens that I can just bring around. It's not really that heavy, it's not really that big, and I just can slip it inside my camera bag easily with no problem. I won't feel the weight. And the image quality is really good. It's pretty sharp. It is almost as sharp as the f2.8 version. And the only difference is that it's not weather sealed. And the aperture is kinda small, f4 to f5.6. So it's not really that good for low light situation. But as a backup telephoto lens, this is really great. Now let's quickly talk about some other cameras that I will also bring that are not Micro Four Thirds. First, it's this guy right here, the Insta360 Go 2. So this is a little action camera. This is more geared toward video. So this is very useful to record B-rolls, and it is a submersible camera, so you can record underwater with it, which is very useful because my Micro Four Thirds camera, although they are weather sealed, but they are not submersible. So if I need to record something underwater or just to have something really small to have fun with and not get in the way of actually enjoying my trip, then I will use the Insta360 Go 2. You can also check on the card above or on the description below my review of this camera and how I compare it with my Micro Four Thirds camera and also the next camera that I will talk about, the DJI Pocket 2. Speaking of the DJI Pocket 2, yes, I will also bring this camera. And I will use it for vlogging. So stay tuned on my channel because I will also release the vlog here. So stay tuned for that. And basically I will use this for my talking head shots while vlogging during the trip. So this is a really reliable vlogging camera. I've tested it so many times and I'm really happy with the result, especially for vlogging. I can also use microphones like this Rode Video Mic Me to capture better audio, as well as the wireless lavalier microphone that comes with the DJI Pocket 2. This is really useful if the environment is too loud or I want to isolate my own voice with just a single microphone. So yeah, this will be my vlogging camera. Now that we've talked about cameras and lenses, I just want to quickly mention some accessories that I will bring on this trip. First is my main tripod. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, but I'm just gonna bring it because it's not that heavy. It's relatively small for a travel tripod and it's easy to use. And this is the Sirui T005X aluminum tripod. So this is pretty small, this is pretty sturdy. I can use it for long exposure night shots if I want to, or to photograph myself and my wife together without having to ask somebody to hold the camera or things like that. So this guy right here for that purpose. And the next tripod is this little Benro tripod that I will use with the DJI Pocket 2 for vlogging. So this is a mini tripod and I replaced the ball head also with Ulanzi ball head, very similar with the one on my Sirui tripod. And the reason why I want to use this is because it is extendable, so that I can just put the DJI Pocket 2 somewhere and record myself easily. And that will be the two tripods that I will bring on this trip. And that wraps up today's video. So that is all for today's video. I hope that you find this video to be useful. Please comment down below and share to us what camera gears that you will bring on your next trip. Also, if you have any questions about anything in this video, please comment down below and I will try my best to answer them. Stay tuned on my channel to watch my vlog of my upcoming trip. Also, don't forget to support my small channel by liking this video, sharing this video and subscribing to my channel down below. It will really help me a ton to motivate me to keep making these videos for you. Alright, thank you and goodbye.